Absolutely love it. All right, welcome family for our Wednesday agency call. My name is Arthur Forrest. I have the pleasure of hosting us today. We're going to go over one of my favorite topics is becoming a solo agent versus an agency owner. The reason why I think this is so important to me because it's changed my life in so many facets. I know a lot of new agents simply just don't have the intentions to build a team, and I get it. I was a silent or incognito agent for over a year. Reason being that you just got to protect your quote unquote social image, you know. And you tell people that you're in one industry, it's kind of hard to say you're hopping into another. For my instance, I came from a network marketing company where we're told to go ahead and hit everybody that you know. Top 100 people, make sure you hit them, let them know that you're in this opportunity. So I kind of burnt bridges initially. Then going into real estate, it was hard transitioning, telling people going from network marketing to real estate. And it was always that feeling in the back of your head. It's like, what are people going to think about you? Are you presenting yourself in the right manner? You know, sometimes you got to tell yourself, you got to stop caring what other people think about you. And you need to start making the best decisions for your lifestyle, for your life as a whole. Okay. So the faster that you can actually understand that mindset, the faster you're going to be able to see success in this business. Okay. So over this topic, we're going to share about next 30 minutes, 45 minutes together. I'm going to just tell you what's true to my heart. Be honest with you. I mean, I took a couple notes so I can have topics of what we want to bring up, but well, I want to make sure that you guys understand this is so near and dear to my heart. So we might laugh together. You might see a tear. You know, I just want to be able to tell you the truth, the honest truth, the good, bad, and ugly of agents becoming an agency builder. Also, if you have a pen and paper nearby, I recommend that you have that on cue because over the course of a couple of days, being an avid reader, I was able to pull out a couple of notes that I want you to guys put our headlines. First and foremost is the one from Mr. John C. Maxwell. Okay. The biggest quote that I got out of his books is your life changes when your vision becomes bigger than your current circumstances. Okay. So I'll write that down if I were you. I'll say it one more time. Your life will change or your life changes when your vision becomes bigger than your current circumstances. Okay. So you might be in a tight spot today. That doesn't mean that that's going to be all the time. This too shall pass. So I'm going to be able to share these next couple minutes and tell you why this topic matters to heart and why you should be able to implement that in real time as well. I appreciate everybody that's saying ready. So let's get to business. Okay. So if you read any books, Robert Kiyosaki, he's one of the main income producers when it comes to New York Life best-selling artist, times, I should say. I'm sorry, I'm getting nervous because I'm by myself. But anyways, Robert Kiyosaki always talks about the four quadrants, you know, the ESBI, going from an employee to self-employed, the business owner to eventually investor. And with life insurance, becoming an agency owner without a course about 2 years, it's the only business that I know that's going to allow you to jump from that E quadrant all the way out to the I. What I say, but what I mean by that, it kind of explaining from E quadrant, i.e., employed. Most of the people that we come into already have a 9 to 5 job, whether it be a full-time job and you're working this on your spare time weekends. You might have a everyday hustle. So, all right, brother, see you in a little bit. You might have an everyday hustle that you have to go through, but still at the end of the day, being employed means that you're working for somebody else. Being able to hop into the life insurance realm as a business owner, quote unquote, that's cute, but you're not necessarily, quote unquote, a business owner. You're self-employed. What I mean by that, if you're self-employed, this is nothing but a glorified sales job. Okay. You might work those 10, 12, 15 hours. It might not be for somebody else, but at the end of the day, your paycheck comes off of your work. If you don't work, you don't get paid. If you don't get paid, you don't eat. And it's that simple. And you understand the reality of this world that 67% of all Americans are simply living paycheck to paycheck, which means that if they don't show up to work in the next 2 weeks, they're not going to be able to eat the following 2 weeks. Also, one out of every four Americans use 95% of all their income for necessities. We're not talking about mad money, going on vacation and going to the movies, having fun at bars and clubs and all that good stuff. No, simple necessities like eggs and milk. People use 95% of their income just to survive. So becoming selfless and teaching people how to move into the different quadrant, it's more than what you think. It's really more than what you think. So obviously, you're coming from self-employment to the B quadrant, and that's what the explanation of the conversation should be right now. This is where you're going to see the most elevation in life. Okay. Unfortunately, though, I want to be bluntly honest with you guys. Jumping from that S quadrant to the B quadrant, that's when you're going to feel, yes, the most elevation, but also the most pressure. Be bluntly honest with you. But no pressure, no diamonds. You understand that? The fear of people trying to get into this, it will give you some sleepless nights. It's going to require the most sacrifice. There's going to be some times where you doubt yourself and anxiety is going to kick in. The fear of the unknown can paralyze some, but that's the reason why success isn't made for the masses. So those that can stick through those hard nights, get through those valleys so they can see those peaks again, those are the ones going to be able to live a life bigger and better than their wildest dreams. Um, I like to tell people, as you know, some people might know that I graduated from the University of Nevada as well. I've been an athlete my entire life. Being a solo athlete, being a solo agent is more like being a high performance athlete. And what I mean by that is you get paid off of your efforts of what you contribute to the marketplace. But when you become an agency owner, it's more like the owner, the Jerry Buss of the team. He's not lacing his shoes up every Sunday, getting out there breaking bones and contusions and CTEs, but he's still getting paid just as much, if not more, than everybody that's participating in the same game. So keeping that mindset going from becoming your own superstar to becoming the CEO or owner of the team, that's how you're gonna be able to fulfill your destiny. Okay, so going on to my notes, sorry. Once you get paid, the rest of the stuff is simply comes in place. Every Hall of Fame producer that you're gonna meet over your course of time with a Family First Life, with the Winner's Circle organization, if you meet any Hall of Fame agency owner, they're gonna say one thing. If you ask them, what would you have changed? They're all gonna say, I wish I started recruiting earlier. I wish I started day one. If you ask that same question to 100 people and you see 85% of them are going to say the same result or outcome, why don't you take the notes from the people that are already taking the same steps that you're trying to take? Start recruiting today. Stop recruiting today. If you know that the average agent, we're talking about the average now, average agent in a whole entire production facility downline is making $10,000 a month, while 95% of people are paying paycheck to paycheck lifestyles and barely have any money left over, it's almost selfish of you not to tell other people. So this business gives you two different choices. You have an opportunity to build an income, or you have an opportunity to build a legacy. Zig Ziglar once said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything you want. Once again, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get everything that you want. Okay. So I want to be able to kind of give you the pros and cons of being a solo agent versus, the highs and lows of both sides of it, just so you can compare and contrast within your notes and you can tell me if I'm telling the truth now. So just to keep it interactive, make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Please put a one in the chat if you want me to keep on going. You can put a two if I'm boring you. I understand it. But we're going to go ahead and get busy. Thank you. I appreciate it. So first and foremost, the solo agent life. What I mean by that, a solo agent has the opportunity to control their day. They know when they want to wake up. I can go ahead and start working when I feel like it. Some people want to wake up early and be productive. Others start the clock when they want to start the clock because it's the first time as a business owner that they didn't have somebody breathing on their back, telling them what to do and when to do it. You have the opportunity to control your money. You can make what's your set point, what's going to be able to just pay off the bills. You can make enough to get ahead, or you can even make enough to start building a legacy. But things that you have to understand about this is that you get better at this business as you continuously practice it. Okay. You become mentally strong once you become mentally disciplined. There's a lot of solo agents that fail their way out because when you stop, the money stops. I've seen it so many times over as starting to build up my agency. When you have people that are used to just making $1,000 every 2 weeks, $2,000 every 2 weeks, and they have an opportunity to make that same income on a 40-minute conversation, man, wow, I've seen so many people come out and sell a couple policies, and then next thing you know, they disappeared. They went on vacation. They're living the good life. They're going out clubbing. They're renting cars. They're going out to Vegas for not to work, but to play. They eventually to the point where those funds start dwindling down. Now they're in that oh shoot moment. Now they're getting back to business. So that's always going to be the biggest problem with new agents because they're never used to having that much money. So they, like Jordan said, they blow themselves up. They start feeling and smelling themselves, unfortunately. So you do essentially they face that emotional burnout because you get to the point where they have no income. Now they might have a chargeback or two, and they're in a worse position that they were 2 weeks ago because they spent the money they're supposed to be in reinvesting in their business or paying those bills off. A question that you have to ask yourself is, am I going to continue to wake up and work during those hard days, during those sick days, during those arguments with your spouse? Are you going to show up and show out? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. And finally, what I hate to say, solo agents, every mistake is going to last and be on their shoulders at the end of the day. If you do good, then great. But if you do bad, it's on you as well. The leads might feel expensive, and your skills, while your leads are when your skill is still developing. What I mean by that, paying $500 initially to start off might feel okay, but when it comes down, you exhausted those leads, and you're still new, and you have to put another batch of 500, and that's where we start coming in. People start giving themselves income ceilings based off of their own personal capacities at that time. What I like to say for solo agents, it's more so it's beautiful and you have to be emotionally unstable in the very beginning until you understand that this is not going to be like this forever. Everybody goes through their own rough starts. Becoming a solo agent, everything is purely dependent on what you do. Okay. Hard work is rewarding, but building a system is freeing. Okay. What I mean by that, when you have opportunity to build an actual agency as opposed to becoming a self-builder, it's not about working harder per se. It's about working smarter. It's passive income. Not too many people have experienced passive income in a way. As you know, in our industry, we get paid in four different segments, and you have to unlock the other two by becoming an agency owner. What I mean by that, as a solo agent, personal or active income, that's purely on your own pen. What you sell is what you keep. And you get to eat what you fish, essentially. But next phase of this business is that reoccurring. Reoccurring is when you do something one time, but you get paid for it over and over and over again. This is subject like actors and singers and movie stars. They record their song or their movie one time, and every time that somebody buys a small ticket, they get paid for it. Our concept in our business is when you sell a whole life product, you can have an opportunity to build that residual year in, year out, and get a monthly paycheck from somebody that you met a few years ago. That's how you build your brand. But when it comes down to the biggest side of things, that's when you start getting into passive income. Okay, so passive income is when you make a quote unquote investment into something that's going to spit out that income over and over, i.e., real estate. You might buy a triplex or a quad, or maybe get those apartment doors. And every time you have somebody as a renter that's in there, and that's going to give you that monthly paycheck or mailbox money, if some like people like to say, dividends and stocks, mutual bonds, so on and so forth, something that you invested time or money into that's going to continue to pay in. Building an agency works very similar to this, where you don't put investment in financially per se, unless you're buying them leads, but you're going to invest in your agents with sweat equity. What I mean by that is that you have an opportunity to help them get licensed, and you introduce them to the high level income earners within the Telegram groups or chats. You help them with the release presentation. You taught them the system that we have in place. You help them get through the quoting process and the e-applications. You help them get through the fire when they weren't self-sufficient at the time. So you have an opportunity once you put your investment into somebody to get paid over and over and over and over again. Having this as an opportunity is what allowed my family to not only thrive, but essentially survive a couple years ago. And I'll kind of get back into that. Building an agency is so much bigger than what people have to say. Also, we get incentives, multiple four-figure incomes that we'll be able to by building your agency efficiently the right way. I mean, imagine getting paid $1,000 at your typical job, your 9 to 5, for doing the job that you got hired to do in the first place. So Building an agency has three different phases that we'll go into. And like I said prior to, I'll love to share a story with you all. My first go around of building an agency wasn't because off of selfish reasons, it was off of a necessity. It wasn't by choice. Okay. As some of you may know, a few years ago, my family's house burnt down and we ended up losing everything. I mean, everything. Some people say all I have is a shirt on my back. I didn't even have a shirt when the house burned down. All I had was some shorts and underwear to my name, running and some socks. With that being said, literally we lost everything. We're underinsured because nobody expects to lose our house 27 years later off of a brush fire. So we're super underinsured. My pops, with all the stress, ended up having a heart attack and followed up with six different strokes to the point where he became in chronic condition, led to our family losing our family business of 40 years and just life itself. And this is during the end of COVID too. Life just shut down. You truly don't know how good you have it until you lose everything. But since we were so underinsured, we couldn't even afford a contractor. We're really faced with a point where it's like, okay, do we sell the remains and the land and hope for the best? Or, do we buckle in and do the work ourselves? Well, if you lost everything, we're so unsure. My mom and I decided to step up while my father was in a hospital bed. I watched him. Thank God he's still with us, praise him. But I watched him pass away twice. It was the most horrific experience ever. But at the time, we had no income that was coming in as a family. I wasn't able to go into people's homes and build my own personal bill as well. So by building an agency, that's what allowed our family to eat. Becoming the man in the house overnight required me to put so much attention to other priorities. I mean, I learned every phase of building a house, but I said all that to say this. If it wasn't for building an agency that eventually built herself to a five-figure monthly income, I don't know how we would still be here. I really don't. So that's why it's so near and dear to me because of what it's done for my family. It's not about just daily deposits. That's cute. We can go into that a little bit, but it's about buying back your time, man. It's about being able to have an opportunity to live when you're supposed to live. It's about not carrying that weight by yourself. It's more than just being a leader. It's it's a lifestyle of a way. So Tony Robbins, everybody knows who Tony Robbins is. He said this: the goal isn't to have more money. The goal is to have more freedom. And that's exactly what building an agency can do for you. It's not about the money, it's about the freedom that you're going to be able to attain. So the honest truth about being an agency owner, as I go back to my notes real quick, same thing, pros and cons. Uh, First and foremost is overrides off your own team production. What I mean by that is if you had Bob and you recruited Bob, you taught him the entire system. He feels comfortable, he's getting into it, he bought his own leads, and now he sold his very first policy. And you got a small 5% override on him. Let's say that policy was $1,000. Yeah, let's say it was $2,000. You have an opportunity to make $50 to $100 every single time that he closes. How many Bobs do you want on your team? Like, honestly, think about that. If one person selling one policy will put enough money to feed your family a dinner or pay for a utility bill, every time they sell a policy, how many Bobs do you want on your team? It's a rhetorical question, but honestly, just think about it. You need to stop relying only on your personal production. And now this is coming from somebody in my first year. Obviously, you can make very fast income on your own pen, but you go fast by yourself, you go far with a team. Heard that 1,000 times over. I don't know why that came to mind right now. But keep in mind, when you're building an agency, your income essentially is going to stabilize. It's going to give you that security that you're looking for. We're not worried about if we get paid. It's not random pay, it's daily pay. So if you ever came from our recruiting side personally, you see on the top there's a headline that says get paid daily. And the only way you can do that as a solo agent is you put in that 15 hours every single day. Wake up and this first thing that you do, you go to sleep is on your mind all day, 6 days a week. Sunday is only a time of rest. So you can go ahead and get busy every single day. But you can build an agency. It does require work. Don't get me wrong. You can build an agency, but you have an opportunity to literally get paid daily. And I think that's the reason why the majority of us got into this business. And also, what's really cool about it, you have the opportunity to create opportunities for other people. What I mean by that, also, this is very important. If I got $10 for every time that somebody said thank you for pouring into them or teaching me something, or I was based off of what you told me today, I was able to sell this policy for $1,000. I promise I'll be able to buy everybody on this call a steak dinner from Ruth Chris. And it's more so being able to pour into others. It's kind of biblical in a sense. Things Acts 20:35. It's more blessed to give than receive. And it comes in true manner with this business too. You'll be able to pour in and helping people get through their situations. In return, you'll be able to live the lifestyle that you want. And also building something that's going to be able to outlive your effort. If you don't know when you're getting contracted, there was a portion of it where it was asking for your beneficiary. It wasn't a beneficiary for a policy that you're going to buy for yourself. It was your actual business, your agency, which means that this is something that's 100% willable and transferable upon death. You have an opportunity to create an income that's not even going to be support your spouse if you're no longer here, but help your children's children start building their legacies as well. The cons that comes with the agency that comes to mind. Very simple. People quit. We're in an industry that 9 out of 10 people don't figure it out because they don't want to get out that valley. The most expensive thing in this business is essentially turnover. So yeah, people quit. People are gonna ghost you. You're gonna give your heart into some people more than that they want to give their heart into themselves. Sometimes you're gonna have cry babies. People cry. Shit, and sometimes you want to cry too. Be honest with you. Going through the situations that you're going through, some people are going to bring those dramas. That's why it's so important to protect the culture of your business. Have those conversations behind closed doors and tell them that it's going to be all right. This too shall pass, so we can get past that and live with a brighter day. Also, this business is going to test your patience, especially as an agency builder, because it'll test your leadership skills, it'll test your articulation, it'll even test your sanity. But the hard truth is, nothing that's worth it comes easy. It's hard to do this business, but it's also hard to be broke and staying broke. Choose your heart, right? Maxwell, going back to another quote. If you're writing some quotes or taking some notes, I'll write this down as well. Leaders become great not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. One more time. Leaders become great not because of their power, because of their ability to empower others. That's a bold statement right there, man. That's a bold statement. All right, so going into the next phase, I know that I want to make sure we have some more interactive time with each other at the very end. If you have any questions, I'd love to be able to help you. But something that I do want to make sure I focus on too is the advantage of having that time freedom that's going to come from becoming an agency owner. And once again, it's going to get a little deep. For the ones that are young, I know we have several 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds are in the industry. You haven't had an opportunity to start your family. This isn't for you. So bear with me for the next couple minutes. I want to speak to the people that actually have some skin in the game and a real reason why they got in here outside of just making money. Becoming a solo agent will allow you to pay the bills, but becoming an agency owner will allow you to buy back your time. And this is something I struggle with to this day. Damn, I'm sorry, y'all. Um, your kids don't need a superhero with a headset. Your kids don't care about how much money that you made, if the bills are paid. Kids care about a parent that's present. There are so many times as a solo agent coming into the company, they're all coming home at 8, 9 o'clock, haven't seen my family yet. And my son even asked me one time, Daddy, are you mad at me? No, I'm trying to give you the life that I never had, son. And they don't understand that. So being able to buy back your time is more important than money. Your spouse, as a male, they don't need a provider. They need a partner. They need a partner. There's a reason why that you guys walked that aisle and two became one. But if you're in separate places at all times, how are you two going to be one? Not to be funny, but solo agents mindset is let me get through this work. Let me get through these $400. Let me get my 5 presentations. Let me go ahead and get this done. Well, let me get it. It's always let me get. As an agency owner, it's more so once you make it to the top tier now, not in the very beginning, but once you make it as an agency owner, it's let me check my deposits, how much I made today while my steak is cooking right now. It's a different lifestyle when you can make the same amount of money at home, being present with your family. Building an agency, I cannot stress this more than enough. It gives you the opportunity to create wealth, not just income, but true wealth that everybody's supposed to experience in this lifetime. But not everybody has the grit to sit through the fire in order to become an agency owner. So what I'm asking you, I'm praying for you, I'm begging you, I'm challenging you to do, make today day one. Make this the first day that you've really made a commitment to finding your first top five on your team. I promise you, you're gonna come back and say thank you, and there'll be another $10 that we can add to the list so we can buy some more Ruth Chris steaks. So big thing, when you become an agency owner, you have opportunity, kind of like a stress on, have that paycheck every single day. The concept of getting paid daily. Okay, so when your agency is moving, you 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 get to live a good life. And what I mean by that, as a personal producer, and I still do this, I'm be honest with you, the very first thing you do is wake up at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning and check that email that you got from Americal no reply and see, did I get paid today or did I have a charge back or where am I sitting at? What no, as an agency owner, you don't wake up and hoping for that because you know that you got paid. It's not, I hope I got paid today. It's more so, how much did I get paid today? So you can get to start off the very first segment or first phase of the day with a great mindset, with that winning mindset, to know that today started off great and it's going to be even greater by the time it's over with. Those overrides hit different, man. Those overrides hit different. So becoming a great promoter of the system is the only way that you're going to be able to build an agency while keeping your sanity, I should say. What I mean is becoming a promoter allows you to be a professional finger pointer, as opposed to somebody asking you questions about, hey, how did this work? How do you get into the business? And you were long-winded, spitting on top of people, hoping that you regurgitate everything that you learned over the course of a few days, and making sure, hoping that the person was listening to you, you had their general interest, and you trying to become on top of them. No, we just point them to the direction that they need to be into. Are you interested to know what we have? Awesome. Here's our overview video made by our integrity partner, Mr. Stephen E. Oh, are you interested in getting into the system, but you don't know what happens after you pass the test? Not a problem. We have an agent academy over there that's going to take you from A through Z. I have questions as far as products. Which product should I sell? Not a problem. Here, go click the product page on our agency website resource page, and it's going to have a full breakdown of what's what. We have cheat sheets. The system that's put in place, it was put in place for a reason. We wanted to make it duplicatable to the point that it's going to outlast your own efforts. But also, if you had an opportunity to had to be displaced because of some health scare or wanting to go on vacation or something, that your business isn't hindered because you're no longer there. You want it to be system dependent duplicate as opposed by steps. You might have somebody that recruited somebody that recruited somebody that recruited somebody, as opposed to an entire line worried about you as our main source of resources. You can point them into the right direction. So do keep in mind, we make money with people, not off people. Say that one more time. We make money with people, not off people. I'm not telling you to get rid of your own personal pin. This is more so of an add to, in addition to what you're doing. Your biggest override, like Trey Honeycutt always like to say, your biggest override is always going to come off your own personal pin. It's always going to come off of your own personal production. That's where you're going to make your most income immediately. Okay. But we're in a show and tell business, not the tell and tell business. Using the opportunity, using these systems, getting people starting off the first week. There's no reason why somebody, as long as they can read, they'll be able to make their paycheck within the first week to two. Okay. Also, oh yeah, people learn faster when they're plugged into systems, as opposed to just clicking around and hoping for the best, trying to learn the systems by themselves. Being able to have somebody that's going to guide you, having those breakdown guidelines is going to be able to help people hit those paychecks faster than other. Big quote or kind of a funny joke that I told somebody was on the phone. They're like, I'm not really good at learning stuff. It takes me forever to put stuff to mind. And I told the new agent, if you can read a Cheesecake Factory menu from top to bottom, from page to page, you can make money here. Literally, you can have fourth grade literacy. As long as you can read a script, sit down, know what page you get to, you're going to be okay. So within the long-term vision, you have to keep in mind that these systems are for, they're made to make producers and then eventually leaders, not dependent followers. So your team can win without you, but are they really winning if the only source of help and leadership they have is from your own mouth? I would much rather become a promoter of the system. Okay, going into the next phase, as you know, we're getting kind of closer toward the tail end of it. This is more so for the hard questions, asking those hard questions. When you have somebody that may be interested, as an agency owner, you got to be able to protect yourself as well. There is a lot of liability that come with this because there are some people that are negligent and have malpractice mindset where they might try to come in and run it up illegally, fraudulently. And in order to protect your business, you got to be aware of who you bring into your house, i.e. your organization or agency. Stephen Yee once told me something that the CEO of Integrity, Brian Adams, told him. If you're not willing to invite them to your barbecue on Sundays, you shouldn't invite them into your agency. So take the time to vet the person. If you don't know them, or if you do know them, even let them know, set those real expectations up front, and let them know what will happen, that there will be fires that you're going to have to put out. You know, it's a hard reality when you have to tell people the good and bad of every business as opposed to just sugarcoating everything. You gotta let people know that 20, sometimes even 25%, obviously the numbers will increase as you get better, of all business is gonna fall off. That's this industry standard. People buy stuff and have buyer's remorse all the time in all phases of business, and there's nothing different about ours. You gotta tell them there's gonna be long days and it's gonna be hard nights. And it's gonna be normal at the beginning. You gotta understand that everybody's gonna go through the suck, including you. Strangers are gonna be rude to you. You're gonna get cussed out. You can't let your feelings ruin your business. You got to be able to be strong in all facets of life. Leads cost money. If you don't invest in yourself, your business is not going to grow. These are little things that you got to let them know. They're called knockout questions. We almost want to get to the point where you're sorting people, saying who that you want to bring into your business, as opposed to trying to bring everybody, anybody into it. Okay. Tell them about those chargebacks, about how you have to fund your own business, how you have to be responsible and held accountable. Telling them that like chargebacks are gonna come all the time. They're like exes that I don't mean anything by this, Chanel, if you're watching this, but they're like exes. They always come back at the worst time. It's like, damn, why are you here right now? So they gotta understand that. Uh, don't sugarcoat anything. Don't want to create fragile agents. You want them to know the good, bad, and different. So when you have opportunity to tell people the truth, you have opportunity to create winners. Okay. Also, another quote that came from one of these books. Honest expectations are the foundation of leadership. That came from Jim Rohn. Once again, if you're taking notes, I'll write that one down. Honest expectations are the foundation of leadership. Okay. So going into it, you have somebody you told them through and through. They're still interested. They're ready to make that jump like you did as well. Now the question is, how do I find the people? Which is a very, very valid question, and I understand that. There's a multitude of ways of recruiting, and it depends on what phase of business that you're in at the moment. Okay. So when you are recruiting, there's a multitude of platforms that you can use. First and foremost, the free version, obviously everyone's favorite is free, is going to be social media. And I didn't know how important this was until like literally 2 weeks ago. There might be a couple people that's on this call right now because they saw a post that I put up like literally 2 weeks ago. Social media is the place where you can talk to your sphere of influence plus their sphere of influence. How it works, the algorithm works. So you have a couple of people that liked it. What you had to say is going to share that information or content post over to somebody else in their realm that have the same similar interest. So if you find enough people generally seeing your content, you get enough of those likes buttons getting hit, you're eventually going to be able to spread your message to the people that you never even met before. So hopping on social media, whether that be making a Facebook post. Hey, how you doing? This is John. I haven't talked to the majority of you guys in a long time. I just want to let you know that I got into a new industry. It's been treating me very well. I was able to make $3,000 in my first 2 weeks. If you're interested in knowing what we're doing, please just DM me ready or whatever, and I'll be happy to share it with you. Another way that you can do it is by building branded, business branded, I should say, social media platforms, i.e. Instagram and TikTok. Now that's where I found the cheat code. Literally found the cheat code. I just installed TikTok onto my phone 3 weeks ago. Be honest, I know I'm 35 years old. I'm supposed to be of that social media realm, but I simply can't stand it. Only reason why I have social media is so I can be nosy and seeing what my family members are doing and maybe possibly archive something once in a blue moon. I had a strong conversation with Stephen Yee earlier, right before I downloaded the Telegram app. He said, yeah, I can understand if you use social media as a platform to be able to check on your family and, archive your personal history. I get that. But if you understand the importance of becoming a business owner and having a business profile, you will be able to see social media in a different realm. So taking that advice, did the same exact thing and got on my computer, opened it up, got a little microphone and said, hey, if you live in Vegas and you're looking for an opportunity, we're looking for people that are already excited, really, say my little prompt, 35 seconds, had over 2,000 views off of a post. I never posted anything on TikTok, dude. Keep that in mind. It's like a 1,500, 1,600 views at the moment. Able to recruit 4 people, and it feels like every other day saw somebody that's commenting ready or asking for information. It's free game. Take advantage. Download social media, make yourself a second email, make yourself a business page, and get uncomfortable. Get comfortable getting uncomfortable. There's, if you have somebody that's a hater in your family, so what? They're going to be a hater regardless. It doesn't matter if you're going to make it or not. So you might as well do something that's going to help your family out at the end of the day. Okay, so building out those branded TikToks, getting on those algorithms working to your favor, knowing the time when you need to post is during that lunchtime when people first wake up around 8, 8:30, or even at nighttime around 7 o'clock. Always have something on cue so you can post it during that time. Try to go on a 30-day realm. I told them I was going to do that 30 days ago. Unfortunately, I only put like 7 posts. But hey, it's trying, getting into the right direction. Get yourself an opportunity to post something every single day, and you'll see where you're going to be sitting at in the next 2 months. After you get down to the free profiles, then you can start scaling yourself up eventually. You start getting that audience and traction within your business profile. Then you can eventually promote leads. And so what that means, you put $5, $10, $15 on a particular post so it can have a broader reach of people within your region. If you're looking to build an agency where you can work hand in hand with people as opposed to remotely, I recommend that you tag the cities or locations that you're working for. So that way, those eyes are going to be concentrated in the area that you're trying to talk to. Also, if you wanted to take this network marketing way, I mean, shit, network marketing works at the end of the day. Go through your list, make the top 100 people, and then instead of calling everybody, put asterisks by the people that you're going to invite to your barbecue. Then after that, decide if you want to move them over to the right side of the column. Is that somebody that you want to call on that? You'll be surprised. Everybody that you're going to meet is either going to be a leader or a link to a leader. What I mean by that is that I've recruited a couple people that came from those Indeed platforms and they didn't do anything. They sat around, they made calls, asked questions, and then it disappeared. But eventually they might have recruited somebody that recruited somebody. My first $30,000 producer underneath my agency came from hiring somebody that hired somebody. So you got to learn how to teach people how to dig through the right people so you can eventually find those leaders, even if it took 2, 3, 4 lines below to find that leader. I love what Almond said, honest expectations are the foundation of leadership. I appreciate you for writing that down for everybody to write if they didn't catch it. After that, we're going to go to more so paid promotions. These are going to be the ads that you're going to put, so it's going to be seen. Sometimes same concept. It's going to be social media on Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are the same platform, so if you post it on one, you won't post it on both. You also have an opportunity to build out um, Craigslist gigs. That's something that we started off with. If you don't have the funds to go on Indeed and put in, $1,000, $2,000 a month into these platforms, you go in Indeed for a local area on those gigs. It costs you $27 for a post that lasts for an entire month. Put in your same subject, and you can have them go watch your opportunity video. There's different ways. You just got to get creative with this. Just have to get creative. And obviously, once you reach that threshold, once you hit the point where the money's starting to come in on a weekly or daily basis for that matter, then you can build your way up to the bigger big dogs, the Indeeds, the Craigslist of the world, where you do have to invest, but just like any business, it takes money to make money. So when you have that discretionary income, then you can talk to thousands of people that put in their reports to you, incoming, as opposed to reaching out and hoping for the best. So don't be afraid to sell or recruit on social media. Please don't. Don't be afraid. I mean, shit, there's 1,000 people that you know personally that's selling a $19 a month program, the How to Get Rich Millionaire ebook. So, I mean, it's fallen suit. It's a reason why people are posting online because it simply works. You got to have that mindset that you're not looking for perfect people. You're looking for hungry people. And if you knew the statistics I was just telling you earlier, more than two-thirds of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. 95% of the people are using all their income just for necessities. You don't have to search that hard to find some hungry people. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. Your best leader may not even believe in themselves yet. And it's up to you to bring that out. It's up to you to bring that out. So, as I'm wrapping up, I do want to make sure I have a couple minutes so we can actually have time for conversations if people have questions. I want to talk about that, the emotional breakthrough that comes with leadership. Okay. Sometimes in this business, and it shows its head, that you're meant to do more than just sell life insurance. Some of us are meant to actually build people. My mindset has my mindset has shifted so many times over the course of 3.5 decades, but I feel like I'm finally on the right path because of this particular business and the people that I had the opportunity to meet over the course of a couple years. People are willing to pour their heart into you sometimes more than what you're willing to pour into yourself. And becoming an agency owner gives you that ability to do just that. Some people have been living in these broken generational curses their entire life, and they simply don't know if there's an opportunity to get to that next phase. Sometimes you have to be the person to talk in between their two temples and saying that, yes, you can do it. It's bigger than just trying to sell life insurance, people. I'm really hoping I'm stressing that point for you. Sometimes you're meant to become that mentor that you wish you had initially. Damn, that was a bar. I don't know where that came from. I need to write that myself. Sometimes you're meant to become a mentor that you wish you had growing up. Okay. So as a leader that knows the way, show the way, guide the way, be that illuminated path for the person that's been in dark for so long. And in closing, I just want you to imagine waking up, hitting every single goal that you wrote down on that piece of paper, every financial bound that you wanted to be able to make that a reality. It doesn't matter if you sold a policy or not. I recommend, I promise, and challenge you. If you were to take the time to build an agency, your life will change. It will change more than you can ever expect it to. Okay, so just imagine what your family tree is going to look like in the next 10 years. And that's where I became a visionary recently because building the agency again allowed me to become a dreamer. We're all young. We always said that we want to become astronauts or professional athletes or hell, President of the United States. We all dream so big, but it was just so many opportunities and things that happen in your life over the course of years that shun that dream, that didn't allow you to dream that hard anymore. I challenge you to start dreaming again. Any material item that you thought you wanted can materialize in 2 years or less by building an agency. Any person that you wish to touch, you can touch them in more ways than just finances. So, as my final quote, I kind of said, don't ask for the lighter load, ask for broader shoulders. That came from Jim Rome too. So, I do appreciate everybody. While we have this next couple minutes, what I would like to focus on, I've talked to myself enough. Trust me, I heard my voice long enough. I don't know what else to say at this point. So I would love to be able to talk to you personally. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, or if you would like to say how building an agency changed your life, this is your opportunity to speak it now. This is the opportunity to speak it now. I'm looking at some faces of people that they changed their mindset, the way they think, the cars that they drive, the houses that they live in, the zip codes that they address. Life changed because building an agency. Okay. So if you have any specific questions, we're here for it. I would love to be able to open the floor specifically if you're a newer agent that's been hoping that you can get this right. If you have any specific questions on how you can get started the appropriate way, I'm not the only person that built an agency within this call. There's a multitude of people that are building towards that seven-figure income, and I hope you're going to be one of them too. Anybody else looking to build an agency, as you know, if your team does $10 million a year, you get to walk the stage and you get your Hall of Fame jacket too. So that's something I'm dreaming of. Not seeing myself walk the stage. I know that's inevitable, but helping the people that I love and care for walk the stage as well. It becomes a very selfless business once you start building an agency. Okay. Well, looks like nobody's asking questions. We still got a couple minutes. Hey, put a wow, like Steven put a wow in the chat if you're still with me. And put a one also right after if you're looking to build your agency as well. Hey, now, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So I think we were able to touch some people. Hey, this was fun. It truly was fun. This is the first time that I've had a conversation with people without having a response back. So I thank everybody that's been participating within the chat and keeping that hour to themselves and have that true one-on-one conversation about how building an agency can change everything for you. So if you learned something, I'm glad that you did. If you don't, I'll go ahead and put it within the chat real quick. Even if we're not the same lineage, we're all the same team. Right there, that's going to be my cell phone number. So if you want to plug that in, my name is Arthur Forrest. You can see it on the bottom left or bottom. I should point this right there. It's Arthur Forrest. And if you have any questions outside of these calls, and it doesn't matter what time of day, whether it be 5 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, I'm here for you. This is what I put my heart to. I'm militant to this for the next 2 years. So I promise that we're going to become a Hall of Fame agency. I'm looking forward for the next 5 people that I know on our downline to become a Hall of Fame agency as well. But what makes me feel even warmer is knowing that we touched enough people that are not in our downline to find that success as well. And I'm praying that you have opportunity to build your agency, to live that life that you always dreamed. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys this upcoming Monday with Wyatt Stem on top of this, telling us how he was able to become the top producer of the team and how he sets for the appointment. So do appreciate everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. I love you all, and let's keep on being great. Peace.